obviously the Southfield, and that's obviously in terms of economic development, kind of the kingpin, or the big one. But there's also in both Jackson, the neighborhood's been around in terms of Route 3. There's lots of other places that are ripe for economic development, or to whatever extent could use some sort of impetus in some neighborhoods and other things. What would you do as mayor to make sure that it's not you're not a one-trick pony, but that other parts of town, that sort of thing, aren't
well,
neglected?
Weymouth is never going to be like Quincy. I mean, Weymouth is basically 97% built out already, and it's basically a residential suburb of Boston. And I expect that to be the case 4 years or 8 years from now. We have primarily commercial development along the 3 state highways, and we have Liberty Industrial Park, and then maybe scatterings elsewhere through town, but basically it's a residential community. So when you're talking about developing, you're talking about redeveloping along those corridors. And it's a difficult proposition on some of these lots because it's so small. So I want to encourage development that there's a lot of concern in Weymouth about how the town looks, appears to people driving through. There's kind of Route 3A, especially has North Weymouth citizens are rightfully concerned that it looks very tired, and there's a lot of gas stations. When I was a counselor, the old McDonald's that was vacant for years. They wanted to put a bar in there. They wanted to put a 7-Eleven in there. They wanted to put a used car lot in there. It finally ended up being condos, and people don't want a bar, another used car lot. They want something that has a little greenery in it. But as to redeveloping those corridors, I'd like to take a look at, Weymouth has a strong redevelopment authority, similar to Boston's. I don't think it's been fully utilized. I'd like to see, I haven't spent a lot of time on that, but I'd like to see how we could take advantage of that structure and possibly position it to energize, as you said, to, I don't know if it's facilitating land takings or whatever the case. I don't have a specific plan, but I think there are things like that you can do. As far as improving the looks of those, a lot of these parcels have to come before the licensing board, and I think when they come up for renewal, we can say, your property's looking run down. We want you to do something about it before, as a condition of getting a license. Things like that, I think, can contribute to a better look for the community, but I don't see any large-scale, resurgence of development on those. I think they'll happen as lots turn over, and I think I want to have landscaping and architectural standards that kind of, frame how we want those corridors to look. I don't think you can do that overnight. I think it has to be as things turn over. But I remember when I was a Northeastern student commuting in, and they used to have a Boston 2000 up at the Prudential Center showing a vision of Boston. And if you look at Huntington Ave now versus what it was 25 years ago, it's it was all run down, small, dilapidated lots, and now it's all hotels and high-rise and really attractive thoroughfare. Not that we're going to do anything on that scale, but long-term planning, I think we have a master plan, but we haven't really seemed to push it or get it going.
It also seems, to follow up on what Greg said, I remember some of the master plan. It seems that it's been ignored in some areas. Your area, for instance, down in Bicknell Square. there's, I think that's a perfect term for it, tired.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the auto body shops there, you've got the little strip mall that's got the nail place and
Yep.
the Little Peach, and, you know, you've got the old.
Not to disparage any of the customers.
No,
there.
but you know, it's a mishmash of
Yeah.
of
I mean,
businesses
you got
there.
the billboards that haven't been used and are rusting. I mean,
And I remember when it was anchored by the pharmacy.
they are drug.
Yeah, and that whole area was, you know, it was vibrant. You had the, you know,
That was when I was a little boy.
Okay, I'm not dating myself though. But isn't there something that you can do to bring it back so it's not tired? So that, I mean, if you look, for instance, not that you want to make it a mall again, but I remember when Harbor Light Mall was made, they tried so many different things there that just never took hold. You know, I mean, you were anchored by Angelo's and Building 19.
Right.
You know, and then it was Laundromat
It was
that was
Kmart,
anchored.
and it was all different things there.
You know, so what are you going to do to bring that back? Because it is, you know, a viable commercial district.
Well, yes, I mean, like I said, I wanted to, well, I want to better maintain the public areas. I think you see these 3-foot shrubs growing out of the sidewalks. I think, you know, we can do things to try and make it look better. But at the end of the day, you've got to get landlords and owners that care about their properties and have vibrant businesses there. And like I said, one of the problems they're having is the lots are so small, you can't really get something that really works. You know, it's a difficult problem. Like I said, I think there's things we can try and do, like looking at the redevelopment authority, and, you know, maybe being a cheerleader for business in Weymouth, and you know, applying for grants, you know, to spruce up the area. Money's tight everywhere, so, you know, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but, you know, you explore all your alternatives.
How tight is money though? I mean, Weymouth right now is probably better positioned than a lot of other towns in the South Shore because of Southfield, because of the mitigation money you're going to be getting, because of, you know, the sudden increase in your tax base, both commercial and residential. You know, hopefully being able to draw other businesses to that area and ancillary businesses off of that. You know, clearly it's going to revitalize Columbia Square, and, you know, the Cameo is probably even going to get new seats, just so we can get more people in there.
Well, I didn't see new seats in the mitigation package, but it may be there, I don't know.
But those are the kind of things that's going to happen once that goes into place.
Well, you know, I don't know if Jack was there, but I was just 2 weeks ago at a Columbian Square meeting, which ran the gamut of emotions. And, you know, there is concern, the Columbian Square merchants have a concern that Southfield is going to draw people away from them, not that it's going to. So, you know, what has been negotiated is to put money into Columbian Square from the Southfield project to try and improve the aesthetics, improve the traffic, improve the accessibility to shops. You know, it's a tricky situation in Columbian Square, though. As soon as you start to do changes to the intersection, you start losing on-street parking, and the merchants are very concerned about that. So I'm probably getting into too much detail on that, but you know, we are going to spend money to try and help the merchants in Columbian Square, you know, transition as, you know, that big development comes along. I think, like you, that it could be an opportunity for them to draw in new customers. But they do have concerns that new customers may be going down the street to see them. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but I know that's their concern. I think it's, I hope it's going to be the other way around.